This can't be right, guys. His skill is so good, but his banner is so ass. This just cannot be right. Why have they done this to us? Guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about why, if you're free to play or a light spender, you should probably be skipping on Blade's banner, guys. Yeah. So yeah, guys, let's just go ahead and talk about it, guys. His banner is absolutely abysmal, guys. His banner is down bad, atrocious. It's honestly, it's not that bad. It's mid, but you really don't get much value out of it unless you're a free-to-play or a light spender, guys. So, guys, the 4 stars on his banner are gonna be Natasha, Shushong, and Arlon. Ew, dude. Yeah, this banner is kind of stinky right now, guys, because Arlon is really not that good. Natasha is good, but you really don't need any eidolons, and you get her completely for free by playing the game. And then Shushong is alright. Shushong's decent. Shushong works great at E1, and I mean, she's a good physical DPS, guys. I mean, overall value for the banner is really not all that there. And honestly, these characters really don't provide much support at all to Blade. The healer you would need for him, if you even run a healer with him, you get completely for free, like I said, guys. And Arlon and Shushong really just don't help him out at all. So let's go ahead and talk about what all the 4 stars do. Let's go ahead and talk about what Blade does and kind of the reasons why you might not want to pull for Blade as well. I do think his skill is really cracked, but I think there are a couple shortcomings that I could see potentially happening with him. But yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about the characters now. Starting off with what I think to be the best character on the banner right now, which is probably Shushong. Shushong is just pretty good, guys. As far as what her abilities do, guys, is her skill is going to be attacking an enemy and has a chance to activate Sword Stance. When in Sword Stance, she does extra hits on the enemy. She also does just more damage overall in Sword Stance. Her ultimate, guys, is going to be summoning her fat cock upon one enemy, and also whenever she uses this ultimate, guys, she'll automatically get her turn back. So she's kind of like Zila with her ultimate, except she's not reliant on killing an enemy to get the turn back. She basically uses her ultimate and gets her turn back immediately. This is also going to increase her attack by 21%, and it also gives extra chances for Sword Stance to activate as well. And then finally, guys, her talent. Whenever you weakness break the enemy, Shushong's speed is going to increase. That means she's just going to be faster when you're breaking enemy shields. Her kit relies a lot on breaking the enemy shield, guys. A lot of her damage comes from breaking enemy shield and also whenever the enemy shield is broken, but the majority of your damage comes actually whenever you break the enemy shield. So once every couple turns you get a big proc and damage just because you're breaking that enemy shield. And you can technically line up 3 attacks with her in one turn just because you can use your skill, ult, and then skill again, so you do get 3 hits to the weakness there, which is actually pretty massive for her. Her eidolons are also pretty good, guys, that being E1, which is I think the best one, cut with ease. This makes her really skill point effective, especially when the enemy shield is broken, because you get 1 skill point back whenever you use the skill when the enemy shield is broken, so you're basically using her skill for free. E2 is just really reducing the amount of damage she takes. It's okay, it's alright, it's not really that good. E4, guys, is going to increase her break effect by 40%. This is actually a really big damage buff to her because her whole shtick is breaking the enemy shield regardless, so this helps her out a lot with that. And then finally, guys, her E6 talent speed boost is stackable, can stack up to 2 times. That means when the enemy shield is broken, you can get 2 of those speed stacks, which is just really nice and allows her to hit a lot more. Also, her last bonus ability is really good too, guys. Whenever she uses a basic attack or a skill, when an enemy's weakness broken, it advances her action forward by 15%. This is really huge. This just makes her be able to use a lot more often and do a lot more damage. Like I said, guys, I think Shushong is probably the best on the banner here. I think she is really good. She provides a lot of physical damage for you because, honestly, where else are you getting your physical damage from, guys? Because ain't no way you're using physical MC. There is no shot you're using this. I mean, if you have Clara, you really don't need Shushong, though, so I mean, yeah, if you have Clara, there's just no reason at all for you to really summon this banner. Alright, guys, briefly going over Natasha's eidolons now. The big thing about her eidolons, guys, is honestly everything up until E4 is not really that good. Her E4 and E6 is like the main things carrying her. The E4 gives her 5 extra energy when being attacked, which helps her get her ultimate up, which gives you a team heal a lot faster. And then her E6 is going to give you extra damage equal to her max HP, or equal to 40% of her max HP, which lets you do a lot more damage with your Natasha. Natasha. Her skill set's pretty basic as well, guys. Her ultimate just heals the whole team. Her talent basically heals your allies up more if they're under 30% HP. And then her skill is the really big one, guys. When you ever use her skill, it removes 1 debuff from a target ally. This is really huge. This is the best thing about her kit, in my opinion. Being able to remove 1 debuff from a target ally, this just can help a lot during battles. But yeah, I mean, you do get her for free, and like I said, guys, you gotta go deep in this banner to actually get more of her. So for that reason, I just can't recommend summoning on the banner just if you're wanting to get her. It's just hard to recommend to go for E4 and chasing an E4 4-star when there are 3 others in the banner, and you know how chasing 4-stars are. It's not that good. It's kind of down bad. Knowing everyone's luck here, guys, you're probably going to pull an Arlon, which we're going to talk about now. My boy Arlon is just, I mean, we're going to make a build guide on him, but he's just kind of down bad, guys. He has like almost no self-sustain. I mean, if you look at his traces here, guys, his first trace basically allows you to restore 20% HP whenever you defeat an enemy, but that's whenever you defeat an enemy. So if you're facing a boss with Arlon, that really doesn't help out too much, now does it? Talking about some of his abilities now, guys, his skill move basically consumes 15% of your HP and going to be dealing a certain amount of damage to the enemy, because what his talent does, guys, is the lower HP he has, the bigger damage he does, because at a level 4 in his talent, guys, is if he's taking 46% of damage, he's going to be getting his max buff of 46% extra damage, which is nice, but this does scale up the more you upgrade it. So this means the more you level it up, the more damage you have to take, which means, yeah, the lower he is on HP. So you're talking to do max damage, you have to be super low HP, and it's just really not sustainable to do that, because you just put yourself in one-shot range whenever that happens. This literally scales off of a certain percentage of his max HP, which yeah, the bigger you build his HP up, the bigger that pool is. You still have to get it down to that point regardless. It's just kind of down bad. And his ultimate, guys, honestly, his ultimate does do a lot of damage. He's going to be dealing a certain amount of damage to one target and also be hitting adjacent enemies with his ultimate, which is pretty nice. It does a lot of damage, like I said, guys, but overall, Arlon's kit is just kind of down bad. Like, it's like, you do a lot of damage at really low HP, but you have to keep him low HP to keep doing low damage. So that means whenever you heal him, he gets out of your range of actually doing the big damage. And then also shielding would be the main thing for him. I guess you would need to shield him to actually maintain that big damage, but even still, if the shield breaks, he's pretty much in death range at any point in time for dealing big damage. But yeah, the banner overall, like I said, guys, is just not really good value for most free-to-play players, because you're not going to be using Arlon. Let's be honest, guys. Arlon's just not that good. You could use Serval and honestly get pretty good damage with Serval, or you could even get close to damage that Arlon does with Serval. Natasha, like I said, you get completely for free, and she doesn't really become good until E4. And honestly, you probably shouldn't be chasing 4-stars, because that doesn't go too well most of the time. And finally, guys, Shushong. I mean, Shushong is just good. Shushong is pretty good. It is a pretty good physical DPS. If you have Clara, then no reason to really pull for her there. And to kind of cap this all off as far as what the banner does, literally none of these characters really support Blade. I guess you could say Natasha supports Blade, but you get her for free, so I mean, yeah, not all there. And while we're comparing the banners, guys, if we just look at the difference between Blade's banner and also Kafka's banner helps her out a lot more. Like, if you look at the characters on here, that being Serval, Sampo, and also the new 4-star Luca, I mean, all of these characters can be used to support Kafka in one way or another. Sampo with the DOT, Serval with the giving shock and also DOT as well, and also Luca with giving DOT as well. All these characters give DOT and really support her. You can use 2 of these or even 3 of these on the team together. You could throw a team together like Kafka, Sampo, Luca, and a healer, and just go full send, like Anhility type beat, you know what I mean? Like, I think Anhility is going to be super, super strong. They did gut her, but I mean, I don't think she's going to be that bad when she comes out. But yeah, that's another reason why maybe you should skip and just wait off, because the next banner is just so much better as far as the 4-stars that are on the banner. So yeah. Blade being a Destruction Wing character makes him pretty good, because the only competition he has is 4-star Dan Heng and also Sampo. Which that's not really saying much. This is going to be your main DPS for Wind if you do get him. He's just going to be that guy. He's going to be that dude. His main shtick, guys, is consuming HP to deal damage, whereas with Arlon's kit, guys, he scales off of what percentage of max HP he's at. His works a little bit differently, guys. His scales off of the amount of max HP he actually has. So the more HP you build into him, the more damage he's going to do. He just takes some of that HP whenever he does his attacks. It doesn't scale off of actually how low health you are. So this just makes him a lot better kit all around. Now guys, that being said, you are still taking pretty sizable chunks of your HP whenever you're using his skills and abilities. He does have pretty good amount of self-sustain though guys, with his talent and also his ultimate that does regain him HP back. Though the major caveat that I can see is there is really no healer in the game that can really keep up with him right now. Just because you do have to use a skill point to actually use Natasha to heal, and you also have to use skill points for Bailu to heal him. Luocha is probably the best one just because Luocha provides passive healing, so that would also help keep him topped up. But I just think he's going to be kind of hard to use in teams. I can see him struggling to be used in teams. I don't think damage is going to be the issue with him. I think him surviving is going to be the issue in most teams. That's the only thing I can see with him, especially if you only have one healer, which is Natasha right now. I think that could bring an SP issue into the team, especially if you're using a buffer to try to buff him up as well. I think that might kind of screw up team rotations as of right now. I know we are getting a 4-star Harmony character in 1.3, so that could change things. Don't know what she does. Don't look at any leaks or anything like that. Also, one other thing I should mention as well, guys, talking about the 1.3 update, we are getting an imaginary Dan Heng, which is an imaginary DPS unit. We don't have any other imaginary DPS units in the game right now, especially for 4 stars. Really, the only 4-star imaginary character everyone's going to be guaranteed to have will be Yukong. So, I mean, 5-star imaginary Dan Heng is not looking too bad, guys. I think overall, I think Dan Heng would probably be a more effective or more efficient pull to go for than Blade, just because of the fact he is imaginary. We do, like I said before, have 2 4-star win units in the game. Their damage is not that good, but I mean, you still have some type of damage there. With imaginary, we really don't have any damage at all. I mean, if you want to consider Yukong a damage dealer, then go for it. You can build her to do some pretty decent damage, but I think it might be more efficient just to wait off until 1.3 and for Dan Heng if you're looking for a DPS. Overall, I think his kit is pretty good though. I think the major thing bringing down this banner is the 4 stars in this banner. I just don't think it's worth the summon on the banner just because of the 4 stars. But guys, at the end of the day, if you want Blade, summon for Blade. I think he's going to be a great addition to the win category. He's going to do great damage for you. I just think it might be hard to slot him into some teams. Yeah, guys, that's really going to do it for today's video on Blade and why you shouldn't summon for Blade. I will have a video coming out in a couple days saying why you should summon for Blade, and I do think Blade has some pretty insane potential, which we'll talk about in that video more. We'll also have a video coming out on talking about our 1.3 predictions and why I think maybe players should save for 1.3, because I think the value there might be a bit better than the value we get from either Kafka or Blade's banner overall. So yeah, guys, like I said, in a couple days, the Should You Summon for Blade video will be coming out. And yeah, that's really going to do it for today's video, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll see everyone in the next one, guys. Later. Bye-bye.